depressed today.
Not looking too happy, mate.
Not happy today, mate. At Castle Combe the weekend. Didn't do any videos. Sorry about that.
Just
Well, we had a lot going on, didn't we?
didn't all go to plan either, did
Didn't
it?
all go to plan. Didn't start well and didn't end well.
No, not at all.
But it was still a decent day.
Yeah, it was a lovely day.
Yeah, so the kit car managed to get an out lap in it. Obviously I was very cautious because we've done a lot of work to it.
Yeah.
So we did an out lap and then a sort of another lap, then it was red flagged. Another kit car went off. So we come back in, but on my out lap, and I'll be honest with you, when I picked it up from Tom, I did take it for a little test drive up the road and back quickly, when he changed the gear shift around.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a horrible, intermittent vibration, which sounded a bit, it was sort of, if you were on full throttle or off the throttle completely, it didn't make a noise, but sort of partial throttle, it was.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, the only thing we've changed is the engine, really. So whether it's something to do with the gearbox on that, I don't know. I hope not. It was a bit disappointing because it was quite noisy, and whereas the old engine was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was what it was. Anyway, we got to the track, did an outlet, and it was still the same, but on the track it seemed worse. So we come back, took the back panel off, checked all the nut and bolt, checked it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, nearly
all round the back, because that's where you said.
Yeah, it sounded like
from.
it was from the diff. I thought that the prop maybe was a bit loose on the diff or something like that. But don't know whether we checked all the bolts though, did we?
I don't know.
No, because I went out in another session. Unfortunately, you didn't even get a drive. Firstly, the clutch is horrid.
Yeah.
So it's literally
unusable.
on and off.
Yeah.
So I've had a look on the internet, and I think what we're going to do, speaking to Tom, is we're going to make some sort of separate lever system.
Yeah.
Still using hydraulic, but make a lever system so it's sort of, it'll be a lot more progressive. But anyway, yeah, clutch is dreadful. Can't use that on the road, and there's not really any feel on the track. It's just like a button, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, come round the start-finish straight. Thought I'd give it a bit of welly. Got up sort of over 100 mile an hour. It was definitely faster because Tony was behind me in his M3, and he said we were doing over 100 mile an hour, sort of halfway down the finish straight. Whereas before we were doing what, 102, 103.
Just about getting to 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely faster. Just going up the hill towards Avon Rise, bang, clatter, clatter, clatter.
Yeah. Not what you want to hear.
Not great, mate. Lost all drop. Engine was still running, weirdly. I initially thought I put a rod through the side of the block, and
Yeah.
so I've sort of come off onto the grass and just come to a stop. Looked underneath, peeing out fluid. I thought that don't look great.
Well, I was down by the start-finish straight, and I seen you like going off, slowing down into the grass.
Oh, really?
And then I saw you get out of the car, and I thought, oh no, something really bad's happening.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go up in flames or something because you smoked fuel and run out. But
It could well have done, actually,
Yeah.
with what happened. So what happened is the prop shaft bolts at the front snapped. Props come off, flung round, smashed the slave cylinder off the side of the motor.
yeah,
It broke the lug off the top of the crankcase for one side, but the other side's okay. Obviously, it ripped the banjo out of the slave cylinder, ripped that thread out,
yeah,
and obviously peed fluid all over the place.
Clutch fluid
So that's why
everywhere.
my clutch went. It's smashed the potentiometer, which is obviously the linkage that changes the gears.
yeah.
It's broke that. Bent the shaft, the selector shaft. Let's go and have a look, mate.
Grab a light a minute.
We've got a few bits here that we've managed to salvage, weirdly. Let's grab a light. But it's all a learning curve, isn't it? I mean, this is
Well,
it's all bespoke.
It's all experimental,
it's a kit
isn't it,
car.
really?
we'll remove that. So at the minute, the prop's being held up by a bungee cord, so it doesn't flap about when you push it. These pliers are clamping the fuel line that comes from the pump, and that is why I say we could have had a fire, because the prop has gone round, it has split that pipe and fuel was spraying everywhere.
Yeah.
So we were lucky there. You see the shaft is bent downwards.
Yeah.
So I've ordered another shaft. They're only 15 quid, but we've got to remove the clutch cover the other side, and the shaft comes out from there.
Right.
So I'm going to stick a new clutch in it anyway while we're at that.
Might as well.
Yeah. You can see up there it has sheared all the bolts. So they're all 12
in that flange.
In
there,
the flange,
yeah.
So that is the adapter that goes onto the gearbox shaft, which obviously where the sprocket would go if it was a motorbike.
Yeah.
And this was the cause, really. We've come to the conclusion. So the prop was pretty much an inch too short. So rather than lengthen the prop at the time, we've had a spacer made.
This was with the old motor, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah. So this motor now sits with that flange on, sits over another inch. So we've made a spacer to make up the difference, but this has been the cause, I think, mate.
Right.
So what's happened? Obviously, you bolt through the prop shaft flange there, and the thread is in this adapter.
Yeah.
But because you've got no thread in there, and it's not even a shouldered bolt, it's just the thread.
Yeah.
So in effect, once it hammers with obviously the torque and the backlash of the gearbox,
around,
it's just hammered
Bending
the bolts
and then
made them come loose, sort of twisted them, and then just snapped the ends off them. Simple as that, really.
yeah.
That's the other end of my potentiometer, and you can see where it's hit the shaft.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened, mate. Fortunately, that's come off, and it was sitting inside here along with most of the bolts and
Which
stuff.
is mad, really, because that could have gone launching down the track.
Very weird.
Really?
Not quite sure where all this flue's coming from here, do you
It might be a bit of rainwater, although that looks a bit cloudy there, doesn't it? I don't know.
I don't know, we might have that cover off, and
Yeah, that's the water pump housing, isn't it?
it has hit that cover a little bit there,
Yeah,
but
it
whether
has
that is...
hit it, but it doesn't look like it's dislodged it or anything, does it?
No.
Unless it's cracked it somewhere. But
I think as far as the damage goes, we've got away lightly.
yeah, we
Could have been a lot worse,
sure.
because at the top of this tunnel here is all the wiring. It could have...
Could have easily
minced
ripped
all
all
that
that
up,
out,
yeah.
yeah. What's that up there, in that tray? Is that oh, that's the battery, is it?
That is...
That's the bottom of the battery, I think.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
So it could have smashed that up as well.
It could have, mate. It could have broke the bloody crankcase. It could have done anything, but it doesn't look like it has.
Well, it could have come through the tunnel and took a leg off.
More to the point,
Yeah.
got both my pins. It was a bit of an eye-opener, actually, because the prop breaking on something like this is probably your worst nightmare, isn't it?
It's really weird, though, because we were talking about, the prop and
Yeah.
don't want the prop coming loose and all that.
I know. That was what I was worried about when I heard the noise, the prop, and then, of course, it has gone. But there was no... Apart from the noise, as I say, it just sounded... It wasn't all the time. When you were on full throttle, it sounded absolutely fine. So when I'm hanking down the straight, 100 mile an hour, it sounded okay. But there was no warning, it just bang, gone.
I think once it's all sorted out, we should get it up on the ramp like this and properly go over everything underneath and
Yeah,
make sure everything's as it should be.
we should do really, mate. But obviously everything else
Everything
looks
else is
fine,
fine,
doesn't
yeah.
it? We've done sort of 3 or 4 laps, and I'll give it a bit of stick. The good thing is, I actually run it for a lap without the AccuSump on, and went through the chicanes either way, and it didn't surge of oil or anything like that. Nothing seemed to happen. And then even with the AccuSump on, I was watching the gauge. Nothing dropped, so it looks like it's belt and braces, the AccuSump,
Well,
but it
yeah.
didn't actually need it. So that was a good thing. I was hoping that was the case. I didn't want it to be working all the time and it'd be surging at just the drop of that. But yeah, apart from that, everything else looks okay. The engine, obviously I was a bit wary, but the engine feels a lot torquier out the corners. So mid-range, bottom end, loads
Feels
loads
like
better.
a good motor then.
It feels like a good strong motor.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Yeah.
Usually, I always wear earplugs under my helmet. With the old engine, you could hear the induction noise.
Yeah.
With this, I had to take them out the second time I went out because I couldn't hear the engine at all. I was literally going off the shift lights. So, yeah, it's weird when you get up in the revs, because bike engines aren't very torquey anyway.
Yeah.
You don't really notice. It's not like a dramatic difference. It's just, I think you're just going faster.
Yeah, you just end up.
But it feels pretty much the same, you know. But the engine does feel smoother.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I think once we get it sorted,
teething issues, isn't it?
teething
really?
issues, mate. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do, thinking about it, we're going to take the prop out, get it extended,
Yeah.
do it properly. Because obviously we need as short a bolt as we can in there, and if we can, modify the adapter so we can put maybe nuts on the back as well. I don't know, belt and braces, but yeah, it's a shame, mate.
It's a shame, but
we had a good day though.
Yeah, brilliant day.
Really, really good
Lovely
day.
weather.
We normally go up the night before and stay over, but it's always a bit of a rush on the Friday,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's a rush coming
You
home.
feel
so
knackered when you get up on the morning of the track day, and you just,
you do. Yeah. So we just took a drive up early in the morning, no rush. Spent the day, stayed there to the very end. We hadn't got a rush packing down.
No, yeah, it's
Back to the Premier in for a shandy, innit?
yeah, better way of doing
And a
it.
curry. Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed that way round. So yeah, not a complete disaster. My mate went with his MX-5.
We went out
He
and
went
that.
all right,
That
didn't
was, yeah, made that go quick.
Made it feel a lot quicker than an MX-5.
Yeah,
For a car that only did sort of 100 mile an hour around there, 130 horsepower, it was ridiculous that.
it felt mental.
With a set of coilovers and bloody
These
triple
tyres.
A's, these
Yeah.
tyres. So yeah, it's a shame, mate, but it's a teething issue. We'll get it fixed this month
Yep.
and we'll be out again. But that's why I'm depressed today, mate. It was quite nice having a car that was running again, because we got both of them in bits, but
Yeah,
not to worry.
Nothing's working at the minute.
No, not a great advertisement, this thing coming back on the old low loader.
Wow. Wasn't an engine issue.
No, wasn't.
Not an engine issue.
Even
Plus
though we
haven't even touched this
We hadn't
engine.
touched the engine anyway, but it wasn't an engine issue, which is good. Got a few bits, on a positive note, got a few bits to get these motors built in here.
Yep.
You're cracking on with the A-Series today?
Yep.
Doing all right with
Got the bottom end together.
Yeah?
So, it's,
Nice, all your
good.
clearance is good?
Yep. Got, what was it? 1.8 or 1.9 thou on the mains.
Nice.
And I'm yet to do a big end, but I'll do that in a minute.
Lovely.
Expecting it to be pretty
Cylinder
good.
head all done. Won't be long. Won't be long,
Cylinder head's
mate.
done, yeah.
Very nice.
Just coming along.
So we've got the cylinder head here for the Rover K-Series. So this is a VVC head. For anyone that doesn't know, the VVCs have got bigger exhaust valves anyway.
Right.
So what they've done is took the throats out, ported the cylinder head. So this is done to what they call a rally spec.
Right.
We've got some specially ground Newman cams coming for both sides. We have got a few bits here. We've got the Piper adjustable front pulleys.
They look smart, don't they?
They do look very smart. We've got our com rods. We're still waiting for the pistons
Yeah.
and obviously the cams, which should be here this week. We've got the blanking kit here for the VVC unit. Yeah, got most of the bits, mate, really.
Got your liners.
Got the liners, yeah, and the blocks all cleaned up, ready to go. So it won't be long until we can crack on with that. Just wait for all the bits. Still waiting for the cam for the CVH. You know that. We've got the head here for the Cosworth.
That looks bloody lovely.
Does look very nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we are going for BD16, BD15 cams on this. Going for pretty decent power. Been ported 26.5 both sides.
Yeah.
So it's a fully ported cylinder head. Very nice.
They
You can
look
have
good.
you can see here, look, the seats,
Oh yeah.
3-face seats right to the edge. Very
Lovely.
nice job.
Yeah.
And 16 new valves, because we had half the valves were okay, but we've replaced them all with nice stainless valves. So yeah, going to be a nice bit of kit. This is a good head. This has had sort of 0.4 took off it, which ain't a lot for one of these.
Yeah.
Hardly any corrosion, no corrosion around these waterways whatsoever. So really nice cylinder head that.
Probably the best one I've seen.
It is. It's probably the best one I've seen, to be honest with you. So all I've got to do in the morning, been a bit busy today. I've had a load of paperwork this morning, which is great on a Monday morning.
Typical Monday, innit?
Typical for me. Bob Dove's been in. I've had to do a job for him. Horrible job on the mill. But anyway, that's gone. So tomorrow I've got to put my valve pockets in the pistons, and I've got to size and balance the con rods, and then I can get this bottom end put together. So that is,
ideal.
hopefully, if I'm left alone tomorrow, that's my job.
Yep.
Get this cosy finished. Just waiting for the cams on that, but obviously all the cams are going to arrive in one go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all happening, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. All go. Gonna need a few more engines in a minute.
We are. We're going to look a bit. It's going to look a bit scarce. We've got threats of 2 or 3 engines coming in.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a bit weird, really. The phone's a little bit quiet, but then it goes like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We got a lot to get on with. On this pallet here is a pallet full of stuff from these gentlemen, 2 brothers, and I think they do quite a lot with these Figaros.
Oh yeah,
Is it Nissan?
Nissans,
Nissan
yeah.
Figaros.
The ones that look old but aren't old.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are a little 1 litre. They rebuild the engines themselves, but they've sent in sort of 4 engines worth in there for machining.
Right.
So yeah, we've got to get that done. I'll turn that round fairly smartish for them. Yeah, good. Christian, the gentleman I've been dealing with, nice bloke. So get that open tomorrow. But yeah, we've got plenty to get on with, mate, but we go through stages where the phone goes a little bit quiet.
Yeah.
And we think we're a bit quiet, but then all of a sudden it all kicks off, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
we'll make the most of it and get what we've got lying about done while it's like that. Yeah. So we're going to cut it short today because I've been a bit depressed today about my kit car.
Yeah. Well.
I think what we're going to do is do what you said. We're going to rent out Perranporth.
Yeah.
Plod down there with it and
So
do
you
some
get
testing, isn't
It's
it?
quite a good deal you get down there, isn't it?
It is,
for the,
yeah. I think it's
hire?
quite cheap. Well, it was like 50 quid an hour or something like that. I'm not sure whether
But they have
changed
just
it.
redone it a bit, haven't they? So they might have upped
Yeah,
the price.
maybe. But it's worth going down there for a few hours, do some testing, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Before we start dragging it to somewhere like Castle Combe again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it, mate. This weekend, are we going to see the Subaru?
I'm hoping so.
Still got to ring about your injectors.
I rang him on Friday.
Ooh.
He hadn't done them yet.
Oh, he's got them though, has he?
Yeah, he's got
Oh,
them.
that's all right.
And he said because they're side feeds, he's got to do them individually with a different adapter or something.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to get on it. But yeah, hopefully, it all depends on the injectors, but hopefully it'll be this weekend.
Oh,
And I'll be going up.
won't be long, will it?
Yep.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
Tom's cracking on with the exhaust on the E30. I think all the structural stuff's done now on the car.
Nice.
So that won't be long, and then that's going to go to Ryan.
So he sorted out your steering rack.
He sorted that
problem.
out. Yeah, what he's done is basically adjusted the steering rack upwards so it clears.
Sort of rotated it backwards.
Rotated it and made some more brackets
Yeah.
on the subframe so it sits at a different angle, really.
Nice.
So yeah, that's solved our problems. Clears by miles now.
Lovely job.
Job's are good and ain't got to start pissing about with the manifolds.
Ideal.
So there we go. That's it.
About it.
I'm going to go home and sulk tonight and hopefully come in tomorrow with a better attitude.
You'll be all right, mate.
Thanks, mate. Have a good evening.